And so now, if you're a woman here, don't be in a hurry and don't be bitter. So you need to wait and hear me out and understand the point I'm trying to make in this video. I know that some of you may be feminists, such to speak. You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. God bless you today, tomorrow, and always. I bring you greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus. As you can see, my background is very natural, quite natural. And I think I love this background. And this reminds us of the good work of the Lord and his wonderful ability and creativity. All right. I'm going to be very short here. I was doing certain things today, 13th of January 2022. And as I was doing that, I had a thought that was actually inspired in my heart. And that thought was, I was, thinking within myself, why do we have so much diverse cases in the world and around us, and even in our society today? Today, it is no longer just in the West, because we understand that in the developed world, in the European countries and America, divorce is like going to school and coming back. You leave the house in the morning and you go to school and then you come back. So people can get wedded in the morning and then by noon they are thinking of divorce. But it was not like that in our society, in the African society, and more so my own society here where I came from. It was not so when we were growing up, and we understand that marriages were actually built around some cultural values, that it was almost not happening that people got divorced. But today is no longer like that. You see, so while I was thinking, I came to understand that actually the trends has completely changed. I remember in those days that, the kind of purpose that we had in those days. Now, mind you that I'm not talking about my own experience as a child. I didn't see my father. I didn't know my father enough. Growing up, I didn't know him enough because I was about 2 years old when my dad passed on. So I didn't see him treat my mom like that. But I know that there are a lot of people who we saw and we witnessed. And as children, we never paid attention to it. We were made to believe that that was the normal thing. That was the normal way women or wives should be treated. What am I talking about? I'm talking about sometimes we, coming home from the farm, you see the wife or carrying a heavy load on her head and then had a baby strapped to her back. And then she will be using one hand to hold another child. And then, with one hand, she holds the baby, the one in her hand, and with the other hand, she is holding what she has on her head. And then you see this, lord of the manor, who is supposed to be the husband, just striding with a machete in his hand, while the woman will be struggling behind with some of those excessive luggage that she has, or she had. And so that was then, and people didn't say anything bad in it because it was almost a norm, and that was the kind of marriage that was available and that was workable in those days, because the women were brought up to, give up some certain rights of theirs, which they didn't even know. They were not in the class of the women today that are filled with what they call women rights activism. Then they were very, very comfortable, living that life. And even when they returned from the farm with all those tedious works and activities that they had exacted in the farm or wherever they went to, they would still rush to the kitchen to prepare meal for the entire household, and the fathers would always, relax outside, waiting for their meals to be served. So this was happening in my mind, and so I began to ask myself, do we still have women today that are willing to pay such huge sacrifice? It was huge, and it is definitely huge. And so now, if you're a woman here, don't be in a hurry and don't be bitter. So you need to wait and hear me out and understand the point I'm trying to make in this video. I know that some of you may be feminists, such to speak, but I really do not know if you're a Christian and you're a feminist. I doubt your Christianity. But then just calm down and also hear me out, all right? So what I'm saying here is that this was what happened in those days, and because of the kind of orientation that our mothers, in those days, that is your grandmother, maybe your mother, if you're old enough, to have had such patient, species of women as your mother, then you would understand what we're saying. But today we don't so much have patient women. Everybody now is an activist. Most women don't want to hear that men are the head of the family. They just want to share, equality with their men. Now, having said that, remember where I came from. I came from where I'm coming from and where I'm headed. Where I'm headed is that we want to look at the reason why we have so much as in divorce today. So now the men, who we have today, unfortunately, there are so many of us that want to continue living like those are fathers of the 20th, 19th, and 18th centuries, where, the women or the wives are almost treated like a piece of log, like a property, and not like a helpmate. Because the Bible said that, the Lord God, when he saw that the man was alone, he said that it was not good for a man to be alone. He promised and said, I will give him a helpmate suitable for him. Now, remember, it is a helpmate suitable for him. And so not a piece of wood, not a property, not something you acquired, but a helpmate. And that means that the two of you are to complement each other. Now, today we have in our society where if a man is that good that he helps his wife in the kitchen, maybe the woman is weak or tired, or she's busy doing other things, and the man maybe can cook, and then he helps out in the kitchen. If he has a visitor who came in and is a man, and we're like, boy, what are you doing? It's like you have lost your mind. Today, if a man helps his wife to wash some clothes, and others will be like, the woman has charmed him. The woman is using, remote control to control him. He has lost his mind. This is the kind of society that we have today. And that is where we have the problem. Because today, the women are not so much interested in giving up some things, and the men are not also interested in realizing that this is a union, this is a relationship, and if it is a relationship, I must be able to sacrifice some things, and a woman should be able to sacrifice some things. So everybody today wants to have it his or her way. So while I was doing this, I began to ask myself, do we still have men that are responsible enough today to be of, help to their wives? What you see me doing here, is in the village and it's still happening. And somehow you will see a woman that has done so much work during the day, and in the process, she must have to come and do this. And some husbands, some of the husbands also have work that they do. But then there is supposed to be that understanding. There is supposed to be that understanding of giving and taking. But then what I'm trying to say here is that, there is supposed to be this mutuality that gives room for this form of understanding. Many men, I wouldn't say most men, are chauvinist, and they just don't think that the women have a right in the society. I've met some people that said women are just an addition, an added advantage or privilege to a man's life. The meaning that, they don't so much count. They are not that important. But I just also want you to understand that even though that God created the man first, without the woman, there wouldn't be a man. And without the man, there won't be a woman, because these things are just the way it is. And God, who is wise, wiser than us, made it to be like that, that we must, have this mutuality. All right. Now, but unfortunately today, the kind of, even the marriages that are being contracted today, Facebook marriage, TikTok marriage, what have you, Twitter marriage. You just met somebody on Facebook. There is nothing, you don't know anything about her. You just, you move ahead to, oh, you are in love. And 6 months after that, you discovered that there was nothing lovely about the person that you have just, messed around with, and you called it marriage. And then the next thing is, I'm getting out of it. Because you really didn't do yourself any favor. You saw a moving train and you jumped in. And then, there is always the possibility of crashing. So what I'm saying here in essence is that the man must give up some things and the woman must give up some things. Sometimes you have people that came from two different backgrounds. The woman was not brought up in a way to know how to do certain things in the house, and the man was brought up in that way, that the mother was so industrious. The mother was doing almost everything, and this guy had always anticipated to see the characteristics of his mother in the life of his wife, and unfortunately, his wife was brought up in a different way. Now, these are the things that can cause a very big problem. For instance, you may be blessed with a woman that doesn't know how to cook, you see, and you want to compare her with the woman's meal you ate outside. Now, that will be trouble. There will be problem. So there is supposed to be this form of understanding. I don't want the video to be too long. I will be doing another, maybe a part 2 on this. But then I just want to put out the question there. If you are married and you think you are responsible enough to not think that helping out your woman in a certain way is you being stupid or you being weak, let's know what you think. If you think that it is also stupid for you to do such thing, let's just know what you think about this. Put down your comment in the comment section. And before I go, I just want all the feminists in the house to know that I have not addressed you, because I know feminists are very, very stubborn. They are as stubborn as followers of Buhari. Nobody can make them see anything good in what we are saying. So I'm not actually talking to feminists. But if you're a feminist that actually want to have a working relationship, it is for you. You can have a real man. You cannot have a real man, a man that is called a man indeed, that will be willing to, to do your bidding, to do everything you want him to do. You can only have a vegetable, an irresponsible man, that doesn't have an opinion of his own. That is the kind of person you have as a man. So I'm not talking to feminists. I'm talking to Christians. So for the Christians, don't forget that Jesus said, or that the Bible said, that just as Jesus is the head of the church, so also the man, the head of the family. Jesus is the head of the church, the man is the head of his wife. So you need to understand that if you're truly a woman that has been created as a woman, the woman that God created, and you say, no, I don't want to take that nonsense, and actually you don't know what nonsense is all about, because you just want to be free and do things that are not part of scriptures, then I'm sorry, I just need to be this way. But God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video shortly. Till then, from me to you, shalom.